Hi, and welcome back to the program. We have a very special guest with us today. His name is Jason Thornton, and he's the co-founder and managing partner of Rivers Wealth Management in Orlando, Florida. Hey, welcome to the program, Jason.
Hey, Mark, I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's wonderful to have you on, and we're going to jump in it right now. Listen, you're 2 decades in the business. You've got licensed in multiple states. You help people all over the country. I want to talk today specifically about your 5 pillars of retirement. And I'm going to start out right now with longevity risk management.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest fears that retirees have is running out of money in their retirement. In fact, it's a bigger fear than actually dying for a lot of people in that are retiring. The other 2 fears that people have to face is whether or not the Social Security Administration is going to have enough money for them when they get to their retirement, and also medical expenses that they can face that can potentially cripple their retirement plan. So you have to take into account the fact that people are living longer than ever. And if you don't have pieces of your retirement plan put in place to counteract those issues, you may end up running out of money in retirement. And we strive really, really hard to make sure that does not happen for our clients.
Yeah, and you have a very robust philosophy about retirement. And pillar number 2 is holistic retirement planning. What does that mean, Jason?
That just means taking into account each individual client's specific needs. Every single client's going to go to retirement with a different amount of money. They're going to have a different risk profile. They're going to have certain things that they're comfortable with, other things that they're not comfortable with, and we have to make sure that we manage all of those expectations on an individual basis. Some clients are willing to take a greater amount of risk. Other clients want to have all of their money put into safer spaces, and we help people choose the right systems and programs to make sure that we are meeting their individual retirement plan.
And one of your pillars is a ready retirement assessment. What does that mean?
That just means being ready to retire. One of the most common questions that we get is, what age should I retire? Should I retire at age 62 and take early Social Security? Should I wait till I'm 65? Should I wait until I'm 67? All of those questions, and what kinds of medical insurance, such as Medicare, that a person is going to need in order to have a really, really strong retirement. Again, those are all individual questions that have to be answered for each individual person. And we help people take a look at their financial picture, take a look at the products that they've got in place, help them create a strategy so that we can effectively help them determine what is the best time for them to retire without risking living in poverty in their retirement, which unfortunately a lot of senior citizens do for one reason or another.
One of the pieces I love about your firm, this pillar number 4, is the healthcare piece, which a lot of people don't take into consideration. So let's talk about long-term care risks for a moment.
Absolutely. Long-term care is something that people really need, because with the life expectancy of Americans being longer than ever, most people can expect to live well into their 80s. And unfortunately, as we get older, our ability to take care of ourselves decreases, and the likelihood that we're going to need either in-home care or even a nursing home is going up. Now, a lot of people don't have a plan for long-term care, and that is a big mistake, because if you don't have that planned and something like that happens to you, that's one of the easiest ways to find yourself in poverty. Because, in order for the government to take care of that long-term plan for you, you'll have to be on Medicaid, which means they're going to expect all of your assets to be depleted down to a limit of, you can't have more than $2,000 in net worth. Now, there are ways to protect your assets against that Medicare spend down by having products that are in place, such as annuities or long-term care insurance. But if you don't plan for that, that is one of the number 1 things that can derail a person's retirement plan.
Yeah, and then lastly, and I got about a minute left for this, is flexibility and adjustments in retirement. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, you think about the current condition of our economy right now. Right now, we're facing record high inflation rates, and we haven't seen these inflation rates since the 1970s and 80s. Well, what if you had a very rigid retirement plan, and now all of a sudden, as we're seeing 5 and 6 and 7% inflation, your buying power through your retirement is being eroded by that inflation. If you don't have flexibility in your retirement plan and you cannot account for that increased cost of living, that is another way where, as you live longer and longer and longer, your quality of life and your ability to do the things that you want to do in retirement will just go away.
Jason, it was a pleasure to have you on the program today. Can we have you back sometime?
Absolutely, Mark. I'd love to be back.
Thanks so much, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.